Good morning, folks, and welcome to week 5. This is gonna be a tough one. So it's a big day. It's my first day of Monday classes, and we start with oral biology at 9 a.m. I'll let you guys know how that goes. So I just got back from oral bio, and we got to meet our new professor, who's a German guy. He seems really cool, but he kind of turned it over to a guest lecturer who's going to be giving us the next 3 Mondays worth of 2-hour lectures. And today we had a review of embryology. Kind of funny that they call it a review when most of us have never taken an embryology course before, but whatever. It was pretty dense, and this, included with the next 2 Monday lectures, are going to be on a midterm, which is in about 3 weeks, I think. Maybe 4, and that is worth 20% of our grade. And the course supervisor literally said to us, I'm glad that I don't have to take that test, so.
Counting 20%, okay? It's a lot. It's a lot of that detail. I'm happy that I don't have to take that exam, okay?
Classic.
That'll be fun. And then after that, the only other grade in the entire class is the final, which is worth 80%. So that class is going to be really, really interesting, I think. Yeah, embryology, man, cool stuff. But a lot, quite a lot. So now I'm just gonna have lunch before I head to dental disease and diagnosis, which I'm curious about. That class goes from 1 to 4:30, so that is going to be a lot too, and I will let you know how that goes. Peace.
Calcium, super dehydrate, and that's the formula if you're really interested.
So I just got out of my dental disease and diagnosis lecture and lab, and we talked about alginate and other forms of casting, and it was pretty dry, to be honest, but we have a quiz on it next week. Weekly quizzes that are apparently hard. I'll let you know how those go. And the rest of my night's gonna be spent studying neurocranial anatomy because we have our first lecture exam tomorrow, which I've also heard is very hard. I mean, everybody says that's the hardest class, so I spent all of my free time this weekend studying for that, and I got 1 night left to make sure I know what I know. And yeah, we'll see how that goes tomorrow. It's been tough to prepare for because the scope is just so massive, but I think I've been doing a good job. We won't know until tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be fun. But until then, I'll see you.
There's something kind of fun I thought I'd share from this asynchronous review session.
Sinus. I don't buy it because I've never seen it that way in dissection, and I've dissected a lot of eyes.
Morning, folks. It's a big day 19 out here. My test is not until 4 p.m., but I got classes until then. All right, so I finished my morning classes today. I had a couple of lectures and a review session for this afternoon's test. Only one thing I want to mention from class today, kind of a funny but also kind of nice story. Yesterday morning, this random guy walked in like maybe 5 minutes into our lecture, and nobody knew who he was, and he kind of talked to the professor. Nobody could hear what he was saying, and then he got escorted out. And then we didn't think about it again. And then today, our professor tells us that he's a patient who is in any one of the clinics that are connected to our classrooms, basically. And he just recently found out about the dental school and was super excited about it and basically wanted to come into our classroom and thank us all for studying because he's just so grateful that we were able to provide dental services here. So that's kind of nice. That kind of made me feel better about how much my head's been hurting from how much I've been studying, especially for the test coming up. And honestly, I do not know how that's gonna go. I've been studying a ton, but there's even more than a ton to know. So I think 4 p.m. we're gonna find out, and I am interested because I do not know. I will let you know. All right, I just got back from the neurocranial anatomy lecture exam. Ding. It was hard. It was definitely hard. 50 questions, and I felt solid on 25 of them. That doesn't mean I got 25 right, but 25 that I felt confident that I got right. Yeah, we don't get our grades back until apparently next week because it was Scantron, so we're just gonna be waiting in anticipation. I mean, everyone watching the video is gonna get to know in about 10 minutes, but I have to wait, so lucky you guys. Rest of my night's gonna be spent studying histology because we have a lab exam tomorrow. And yeah, just gotta keep on trucking, I guess. See you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday. I got another couple classes today, and I have my histology lab exam, which is going to consist of identifying some certain structures on samples of tissue, including bone, muscle, cartilage, probably a couple other things. I am not as prepared for this as I was for yesterday's test, but that's because it's also probably not going to be as hard. So I'll let you know how that goes. Well, folks, just walked out of my histology lab exam, and I really didn't like it. I thought there were a lot of unfair questions. Not necessarily unfair, but confusing. Didn't love the tissue samples she had put on there. Couldn't zoom in. Just didn't like it, but I passed. I got a 78. Passing's like a 67 in this class, which I just found out. So I'll take it. One day at a time, folks. Morning. It's day 21, and today we got dental anatomy at 8 a.m. Got another quiz, this time on the canines, and after that we get to start our second project, so I'm curious to see what that's going to be.
Faces look pleasing.
So I'm all done with classes today. Aside from a couple of lectures in microbiology and histology, I had my dental anatomy quiz like I do every week, and I got my first 10 out of 10, which was interesting. I guess I know everything there is to know about canine teeth. And then we started our second project, which was actually quite a step up from waxing the geometric shapes we did for the first project. This is now waxing a real tooth. We're doing tooth number 9, which is the maxillary central incisor on the left. And yeah, starting out okay. Still got some work to do, but we got time. So yeah, tomorrow I got 2 tests, both in my periodontics class, one written, one hands-on, working with the Explorer this week, actually this time. And yeah, I'm just gonna study for that and kind of prepare with my hands, I guess. I don't really know, but I think that'll go well. And then finally we'll be through with this tough week. Feels good to almost be at the end. Hey everybody, it's past 10 p.m. I'm studying for this written portion of the perio test tomorrow, and I am just out of steam, quite honestly. I don't know how it's gonna go because I'm reading this information and it's not sticking. I'm constantly rereading the same thing. It's been a long week. I'm glad next week's a little easier. Definitely gonna use this weekend to relax, but also study. Such is the life of the dental hippie. Good morning, everyone. It's finally Friday. It's 7:45. Woke up a little early. My first of 2 tests today is at 9:15. And I woke up a little early to study for it, which I'm about to do, because like I said last night, I just did not have the energy to keep going. So hopefully I'll be prepared for it. Really no way to know. And then after that, I'm going to study for the hands-on portion, which is using the Dental Explorer. We're going to see how today goes. Honestly, whatever happens, happens. I just want to get to the end of the day, want to get to the weekend. But yeah, I'm glad I made it through the rest of this week. So, baby steps. All right, so it's not even 10 a.m. and I'm already back. That was a pretty easy test. I obviously don't know what I got yet, but wasn't bad. The mannequin-based competency exam, on the other hand, I don't know how that's gonna go. Honestly, it depends on who's grading me. I hope I have the same professor as last week because she was very lenient, but I have no idea if that's gonna be the same or not. But I got until 1 p.m. to basically rest, maybe do a little studying. We'll see how I feel. And then it's the weekend, finally. Oh, look at the leaves, man. I just got out of my mannequin-based competency exam for the Periodontal Explorer, and it went really well. Only got one thing checked off as done wrong, and that was my posture on one of the teeth. Once again, it was 5 teeth that we had to do. It took like 3.5 hours, just like last time. But I'm finally on the weekend. Week 5, you were a beast. I'm amazed I got through it, and I'm really happy to be on the other side. See you in the next one. Morning, everybody. We're at the top of week 6, and I got oral biology at 9 a.m. And then I have Introduction to Dental Disease in the afternoon. And that class, I have my first quiz, which is going to be happening every week. So it shouldn't be bad. When I say that, I have no idea, but I feel prepared. And yeah, that's today. Tomorrow I got a test, so I've studied all weekend for that, and I'm going to study more tonight. And then Wednesday I have another test, which I started studying for a little yesterday. Hopefully do a little more today, and definitely do a lot tomorrow. But this week should not be as bad as last week. Fingers crossed. All right, so I just walked out of an extremely intense 2-hour lab. Only half the class was there, so it's still 50 students, but it was insane. We were making alginate impressions and taking casts from that, and it was just non-stop pandemonium, basically. Nobody finished, so we all have to come in later on our own time, finish that. It's due in 2 weeks, so we got plenty of time, but man, that was a lot. And there's some other stuff from today. I had a good lecture in the morning, I guess. It was on, I don't even know at this point. My brain is fried after that lab. And then I got my score back on that really hard test, which, I'll just tell you about it later on. So I'm back from my walk. Yes, that lab was crazy. Wouldn't do it again, no. But I know I'm gonna have to. That's gonna be a constant every Monday thing, except next Monday actually, because they split up class in half, and yeah, next Monday is the other group's turn, and they are in for it. Anyway, the rest of today was not too bad. Had a lecture in the morning on tooth eruption and like root formation. Pretty basic stuff, although didn't really feel like it in the moment. You know, those early lectures just really get to you. And then I finally got my grade back on that neuro test, and I got an 86, which is great. I feel like I deserved an 88 because one of those questions was just flat out unfair. But I won't complain. I passed, got right about the class average, so I'm okay with that. All that's left is that lecture portion of the perio test that we haven't gotten back. I don't know why. I think the teacher probably forgot to post it, but other than that, 3 out of 4 last week, solid, so nothing to complain about, except for that lab.
All right, I'm going to talk about this in the future, but histology is quickly becoming my least favorite class. It's just hard, and it's a lot, and I'm just not that good at visualizing living tissue, like what's in it, and stained tissue samples and different things. The same thing will look a different color based on the stain you use and all this stuff. Everything looks the exact same. If it's a cell, it looks like every other cell. So it's frustrating. And on the lab exam, I told you guys I got 77 or 78. And I was like, I can check what the other students got. And so get this. I started down here, and it's kind of tough because it'll tell you 1% of users, one user, yeah, we know, 1% of a class of 100, one person, that's tough, 35 and 40. Goes up 40 and 45, one more person between 50 and 55, and then we start picking it up a little. And so I was between 70 and 75%. No, I was not. I was between 75 and 80%. And I was, if I hadn't done that, 10% of the class. So I'll take that. But this is what really just amazes me. 34 people knew all or most of the answers to this quiz, and I found it so hard. I mean, that's crazy to me, that people are just that good at it. I'm just not seeing the patterns. I'm really not. So anyway, people go hard here, man. It's kind of intense.
All right, everybody, it's Tuesday. Got a Foundations of Oral Health lecture, new neurocranial anatomy lecture, starting a new unit, and then I got my histology test. Still don't really know what to expect exactly from that, but I'm not too worried at this point. We'll see how it goes. All right, I just got back from my histology test and got an 88. It was actually way more straightforward than I was expecting. I think that most people were expecting. So that feels great. The lectures today weren't too bad. The new neuro stuff is, I can tell it's gonna be pretty heavy, but we just started with kind of like the brain and all the little indentations and that sort of thing on there, all the sections. So it's interesting, it's cool, but it's a lot. In the morning we had another embryology lecture, so that was fun. Embryology is cool, but it's a little hard to visualize, you know? I've never seen an embryo before, just had it described to me, so. I mean, same with the brain though, you know? Although apparently in lab today we will be seeing real human brains, so that'll be fun for 4 p.m. And then the rest of my day is just gonna be studying for tomorrow's test, which is on a few weird topics like epidemiology and public health, biomaterials. It's just kind of a catch-all in my Foundations of Oral Health course. So yeah. And then once we get through that, basically just Thursday morning, and then I'm kind of on the good side of the week, so getting there. All right, I just got back from lab. I have officially held a human brain in my hands, so that's, I don't know if I'd say cool. Yeah, it's cool, kind of interesting. I don't know if I necessarily learned a lot about the brain, but it was very interesting to see it in person, and quite an organ. So yeah, now the rest of my night is just gonna be studying for my test tomorrow, which is not gonna be fun, but that's okay. Morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. I got a test in an hour in Foundations of Oral Health. Not looking forward to it, honestly. Biostatistics is some dry material. Epidemiology is fine. Public health is fine. Biomaterials is fine. But none of it's like all that interesting. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm back from morning classes and my Foundations of Oral Health test. Honestly, I felt like I knew most of the content, which is totally unexpected. And it was even more unexpected because after the test, a lot of people were coming up to me and telling me they felt like they failed and that it was super hard. And honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know what I got yet, so hold on that. But yeah, I'm feeling good about that. And then we had another neurocranial anatomy lecture, kind of interesting. Our teacher passed out 3D glasses, and we got to look at some brain structures, pictures of brain structures with those on. And then we had histology lab, and now I have my first ever rotation, which is gonna be group assist, it's called. Basically, I think I'm assisting an older student who's working on a real patient, so it's pretty exciting. And yeah, hopefully I'll have my grade by the end of the day, and hopefully group assist goes well. First look at my clinic. About to assist. Great look, man, great look. Well, I just got back from my first ever assisting rotation, and it was actually really fun. All I did was suction the whole time, but it was cool to be in that atmosphere, working with a real patient, and working with an older student who actually knows what they're doing. So I got there and met the third year student who I was gonna be working with, and she showed me the x-ray of the patient that was coming in. Basically, this patient had 2 crowns on their left mandibular first and second molar, so basically numbers 18 and 19, and, well, that'd be, yeah. And basically, this patient was gonna lose tooth 18. They'd opted to have it extracted because of something to do with the root anatomy. The roots were actually connected, and basically the tooth wasn't really strong enough to support itself. So what her previous dentist had done for her was connect the crowns of tooths 18 and 19, which I had never seen before. And basically now that 18 needed to be extracted, the plan today was to separate that connection and then extraction would happen at a different time because we don't do that in our clinic. So the older student told me it wouldn't take very long. So I was like, okay, cool. Be in and out probably. Anyway, the patient comes, way overshares about her life. Really some interesting comments made. Yeah, the patient just talked to us for a while about her life, and then we finally got going. So basically, the older student was drilling for what felt like an hour of just drilling. Like she'd drill, take her hands out, I'd suction out the saliva and whatever, and then she'd get right back in there. And that went on. The entire appointment took 2 hours, which is crazy. And the reason that is because the crowns were porcelain on the outside, but something called zirconia on the inside. And once she got through the porcelain, which took no time at all, she was surprised to see the zirconia there because she couldn't tell that that's what it was on the x-ray. And it took her an extremely long time to get through it. So I learned a couple of things today. One, patients will treat you like their therapist, some. Two, basically zirconia is very tough. And three, an appointment's not always going to go like you expect. She really thought we were going to be out there in half an hour, and it took 2 hours. So, very good learning experience, and I'm looking forward to the next time I get to assist. Oh, and I did get my grade back from my Foundations of Oral Health test this morning. Got an A-, so yeah, about what I expected. So, pretty solid. Rest of today is going to be spent reading a chapter in that concise dental anatomy textbook, which will be fun because I got a quiz on that in the morning. And then I also have a practical, a waxing practical in the morning, which there's really no way to prepare for that, but mentally prepare. So yeah, that'll be my night. And then, like I said, once I'm through with Thursday morning, I'm on the good side of this week. So pretty happy to be where I'm at. See you tomorrow. Happy Thursday morning. Got a practical test in dental anatomy in about an hour, as well as a quiz. And after that, just some lectures. So once I get through dental anatomy, I'm in a very good place for this week.
It's also 5.
All right, so I just got back from classes today. To be honest, that quiz was way harder than I expected it to be. I definitely could have studied more, to be fair. But I got 5 out of 10. It happens, guys, it's okay. And then, surprisingly, the waxing practical went better than I expected it to. I didn't get my grade back, but basically we're making a blue cone, which is the one I was hoping for because I know how to make a cone. And we had an hour to make it from scratch, just melt our wax on that little block and basically get it to the right specifications, 5 millimeters tall, 5 millimeters wide at the base. It's kind of funny, I had 20 minutes left and measured the height. I'd been measuring the height consistently throughout the hour, and then at 20 minutes left, I'm like, I'll check one more time, and it's 8 millimeters, and I was like, what? How did this happen? I think it just kind of got taller as I was smoothing it out. I really don't know what exactly happened there, but I got it down to 5 right before the end. The only issue was it was a little asymmetrical, but I think it's pretty smooth and the measurements were right, so I think I'll get a decent grade on that. So yeah, other than that, just had histology and microbiology lectures, and that was about it. So that was my day today, and tomorrow I don't have perio until the PM session, so get to sleep in. Kind of feeling like I'm already on the weekend. Good feeling. Good afternoon at the bottom of day 27. All I had today was perio, which really didn't last very long. We basically spent our time learning how to use a toothbrush and floss on someone else's mouth, as well as how to educate our patients on oral health. and that sort of thing. We also learned about the unique needs of people's different mouths, you know, if they have certain fillings, what type, and how you might floss or brush on someone's mouth if they have braces or gold teeth, whatever it might be. And now we are at the very end of a video cataloging a pretty intense 2 weeks. And they got so exhausting that I didn't even end up making a music video for this week, which, I mean, that's probably gonna happen a couple of times. Kind of just wanted to relax this weekend. I still played a ton of guitar, but I didn't end up going through all of the work necessary to actually record a video and, you know, set up all the recording equipment and that stuff. But next week, trust me, there will be one. Anyway, 6 weeks down. Things feel very real now, but I also feel comfortable with how it's going, which is great. Couldn't ask for anything more than that. I'm still having a lot of fun, and classmate relationships are only growing, which I'm also very thankful for. I've already taken some very hard tests, but I've yet to fail one. Did fail a quiz, and that is probably going to happen. I expect to fail a test even eventually. Apparently it happens to everyone, so it kind of feels like just a matter of time, but I feel very good that I've made it to October, made it 6 weeks in without failing one yet. So when it does happen, at least I'll have a little buffer, ideally. I got to have my first clinical experience this past week, which was really fun, and I'm only looking forward to the next one. And I'm still learning a ton every single day. And while it can get hard and, you know, make you feel a little exhausted at times, I'm still finding the good in every moment. And if you can do that, there's no such thing as a bad time in your life. So that's all I'm trying to do, and it's been working so far. I feel good, and things are going well. And yeah, with that, peace. Take care of your teeth.